The problem of evil is reconciling the existence of the evil in the world with the existence of an omniscient or all-knowing, omnipotent or all-powerful, and perfectly good God. The argument from evil is generally an atheistic argument that the existence of such evil cannot be reconciled with, and so disproves the existence of such a God. Christianity claims both that God created the world and that he sustains it. Christianity claims that God knows all things and is capable of all feats. Christianity claims that God is perfectly good and wants only the best for his creation. If each of these claims is true, though, then it can be difficult to see why God allows the evil in the world to persist. The evil in the world thus appears to be at least strong and perhaps even conclusive evidence that at least one of these central claims of Christianity is false. The most common rebuttal is that a greater good must be served by free will. This debate starts to define categories and meanings of terms, such as moral evil, like Hitler, versus natural evil, like the destruction of Pompeii, and shades of free will, such as the natural freedom to do what one desires, versus circumstantial freedom from coercion or restraint, versus acquired freedom to live as one should. This usually revolves around the fact that mankind has free will and can choose to love or hate, as well as the fact that true love must be a choice and cannot be forced, and that evil is the result of combination of free choices and the interconnectedness and complexity of life in a sinful and fallen world. Ultimately, it would be logically inconsistent for God to prevent abuses of freedom without infringing on free will. Critics question whether free will accounts for the degree of evil seen and suggest that God could have offered a carrot and a stick to help reinforce good moral choices and punish immoral choices. As well, free will may not account for what we consider natural evil. The counter is often that the world is made corrupt by the fall of mankind, and that there are active demonic forces that we don't see or understand. It has also been suggested that natural evil is the suggested stick that eventually punishes immoral choices. And as for the degree of evil we've seen, it has been countered that evil is evil. The fact that Hitler killed 6 million Jews is no more or less evil than if he'd only killed 1 million, or 100,000, or even one. What we are seeing is the effects of sin and its consequences on the world. All sin is evil and abhorrent to God. To which is the final counter, why does he let it continue? When will it end? The choice to love or hate can only be served by free will. The Bible has much to say on the problem of evil, and much of this discussion presupposes that there is a conflict going on in the background between good and evil, God and Satan, angelistic and demonic forces. The Bible often credits to God that which he doesn't prevent, indicating his omnipotence, and the book of Job is often stated as providing insight into the good versus evil battle. However, it doesn't directly answer it, except that God could have destroyed evil as soon as it has arisen. However, beings with free will would then fear him and not love him. In his great wisdom, he knew to let sin run its course for all to see. The concept of original sin also gets explored with different shades and definitions regarding to the penalty of the original sin, which also wades into the Calvinism versus Arminianism debate, especially around free will. Pretty hefty topics for such a seemingly simple problem. The end of evil is prophesied in the Bible at the second coming of Christ, when death and the grave are cast into the lake of fire, and the new heaven and earth will have no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain.